Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at the connections between what we eat every day and two pretty big health concerns, bowel cancer and cholesterol levels.
Yeah, it's amazing how the little things we choose to eat or not eat can have such a big impact on our health.
Ready to get into some research on this?
Definitely. Let's do it.
All right. Let's start with bowel cancer. The numbers are kind of, well, a bit scary in the UK. It's something like 1 in 17 men and 1 in 20 women who will end up getting a diagnosis of bowel cancer sometime in their lives. But there is some good news. Over half of those cases, we think, could be prevented just by changes to lifestyle and diet.
Yeah, one of the, I think, most interesting studies is that Million Women study. You know the one?
I do.
It showed that having just one glass of milk each day could actually lower your chances of getting bowel cancer by almost 20%.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Why would milk have that kind of effect?
Well, the key seems to be calcium. What they think is happening is that whether it's from dairy milk or a non-dairy alternative, calcium binds to fatty acids and bile acids in the bowel.
Okay.
And that binding seems to stop those substances from damaging the cells in the bowel and potentially, contributing to cancer developing.
So it's not just about avoiding certain things, but actually adding in some good things.
Yeah, exactly.
What about other things in our diet that could be linked to bowel cancer risk?
Well, while milk was a positive link, that same Million Women study also found a possible connection between a daily glass of wine and, unfortunately, a 15% increase in the risk of bowel cancer.
Oh,
So I guess it shows just how important a balanced approach and, well, moderation is when it comes to what we eat and drink.
yeah, like every food choice comes with pluses and minuses, right?
Right. And of course, there's also the connection between processed meats and red meat and the risk of bowel cancer. We've known about that one for a while. The evidence seems pretty consistent that limiting those kinds of meat can really help prevent bowel cancer.
Yeah. So it sounds like eating a balanced diet, focusing on calcium-rich foods, and limiting things like processed meats and alcohol. Maybe that's the best way to go if you're thinking about bowel cancer prevention. Now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about another really important part of our health, cholesterol.
Oh.
Before we jump into specific foods, maybe it would be helpful to quickly go over what the different types of cholesterol do. You've probably heard of good HDL and bad LDL cholesterol, right?
Yeah.
HDL basically acts like a garbage collector in your bloodstream, grabbing extra cholesterol and taking it back to the liver to be gotten rid of.
Right.
But LDL, that's the one that can end up sticking cholesterol in your arteries, and that can lead to plaque buildup and maybe even increase your risk of heart problems.
Exactly.
And this brings us to a food that's been getting a lot of attention lately for helping manage cholesterol: walnuts.
Yeah, walnuts are pretty great.
Studies have actually found that if you eat just a handful of walnuts every day, something like 1 to 2 ounces, you can actually lower your total cholesterol and your LDL cholesterol by about 4%. That's pretty significant. Why are walnuts so good at doing that?
Well, it seems like they've got a few things going for them. First, they're a good source of fiber, and that fiber acts kind of like a magnet for cholesterol in your gut. It binds to the cholesterol and helps prevent it from getting absorbed into your bloodstream, so it gets eliminated from your body more easily.
So it's like the fiber in walnuts is helping escort that bad cholesterol right out of there. That's really cool. What else makes walnuts so heart healthy?
Well, they also have lots of polyunsaturated fats. In particular, they have a type called alpha-linolenic acid, that's ALA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid. And these healthy fats, research shows that they can help lower those LDL cholesterol levels, and they even improve the balance between HDL and LDL. So they're shifting things in the right direction for your heart.
It sounds like walnuts are working on multiple levels to help fight high cholesterol. Are there any other good things about them?
Yeah, they're also packed with antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
They work like protectors, fighting off cell damage caused by those harmful free radicals. And this antioxidant power might help reduce inflammation. And as you know, inflammation is a big part of heart disease.
So we've got fiber to reduce cholesterol absorption, we've got healthy fats to improve our cholesterol profile, and we've got antioxidants fighting inflammation. It's like walnuts are a triple threat against heart disease.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we should know about them?
Well, there's a growing amount of research looking at the link between having a healthy gut microbiome and good cholesterol levels. The gut microbiome is all those trillions of bacteria and microorganisms that live in our digestive system.
Right.
And what they're finding is that having a diverse and balanced gut microbiome might actually help with healthy cholesterol metabolism.
Okay.
And the cool thing is that walnuts, with all that fiber and other good stuff, seem to really support a healthy gut ecosystem.
That's amazing. So the bacteria in our gut can actually influence our cholesterol. Tell me more about how that works.
It is kind of complicated, but
Mm.
basically, there are good bacteria in our gut that can help break down cholesterol,
Okay.
that keeps it from getting into our bloodstream, and a diet that's high in fiber, like, from eating walnuts, helps those bacteria to thrive.
Okay.
So you end up with a balanced gut environment that helps keep cholesterol levels healthy.
It seems like we're only just starting to understand how our gut health is connected to, well, everything.
Yeah,
This makes me think, are there any downsides to, like, eating a lot of walnuts? Could they interact badly with other foods or medications?
that's a really good question. Yeah. Walnuts are generally safe and good for you, but they do have a lot of calories.
That's true.
If you add them to your diet and don't adjust your overall calorie intake, you could end up gaining weight. So it's always good to watch your portion sizes and, keep things balanced overall.
So even with healthy foods, moderation is key. What if someone doesn't like walnuts or they're allergic to nuts? Are there other foods that can help lower cholesterol?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many options. Other nuts, like almonds or pistachios, are also good sources of fiber and healthy fats and antioxidants. And, beyond nuts, fatty fish like salmon or tuna can be really beneficial. They're full of omega-3 fatty acids, which have been linked to lower triglyceride levels and better blood pressure.
Yeah, omega-3s seem to be like the big thing right now.
Yeah.
I've also heard that flax seeds and chia seeds are good plant-based sources of those. What about them?
Yeah, you're right. Flax seeds and chia seeds are great to add to a heart-healthy diet. They give you a good dose of ALA omega-3s, and they've got fiber too. And we can't forget about a good old bowl of oatmeal.
Right.
The soluble fiber in oatmeal helps grab onto cholesterol in your digestive system, so it's easier to get rid of.
Wow, this is making me rethink my breakfast choices. It's pretty amazing to think that so many delicious foods that are easy to get can actually be so good for us.
It is. And the more research we do, the more we're going to find out about how the things we eat affect our overall health, I think.
This deep dive is really making me see how much power we have when we understand the science behind nutrition. We can make smarter choices about what we eat.
Totally. Knowledge is power. And when you understand how your food choices are affecting your body, you can be in control of your health outcomes.
You know, one thing that I found really interesting about the Million Women study is that it focused on getting enough calcium to help prevent bowel cancer.
Right.
What about people who might already have a higher risk of bowel cancer because of family history or other things? Would just eating more calcium be enough for them, or should they think about taking supplements?
That's a really important question, but it's something that really needs to be decided on a case-by-case basis. Increasing your calcium intake through food is generally a good thing, but if someone has specific risk factors, they should definitely talk to their doctor or a registered dietitian. They can help figure out individual needs and make personalized recommendations, which might include supplements or other dietary changes.
So it sounds like taking a personalized approach is really important, especially if you're trying to manage potential health risks.
Exactly. And it's also important to remember that different dietary choices can interact with each other. Like, we've been talking about how good walnuts are for cholesterol. But if someone is already eating a diet that's high in healthy fats, they might need to adjust their overall calories to stay at a healthy weight.
That makes sense. It's about creating a whole dietary pattern that fits individual needs and preferences, not just focusing on one specific ingredient.
Exactly. And that's where a registered dietitian can be so helpful. They can help people create personalized meal plans that work for their health goals and their likes and dislikes and any health conditions they already have.
It's like having a custom nutrition roadmap to help guide you to better health.
What other advice would you give to listeners who want to learn more about the connection between food and health? Be curious. And look for trustworthy sources of information. There's a ton of information out there, but it's so important to be careful and to rely on evidence-based research, not just random stories or fad diets.
Yeah, it's easy to get sucked in by sensational headlines and stuff, but it's important to really think critically about where the information is coming from and what the science behind it is. What do you think are some good sources of information?
Well-respected health organizations, like the World Health Organization, the WHO, the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, and the American Heart Association, the AHA. Those are good places to start. They have guidelines and resources that are based on scientific research.
It's great to see that there's so much focus now on taking scientific findings and turning them into practical advice about what to eat. We're moving past just treating diseases. We're trying to prevent them by making smart food choices. What do you think about that shift?
I think it's really great, this move toward focusing on prevention through nutrition. It gives people the power to take charge of their own health. Instead of waiting until there's a problem and then needing medical treatment, we're realizing that the choices we make about what we eat can actually help reduce our risk in the first place.
It's like instead of reacting to health issues, we can be proactive and try to stop them from happening.
Exactly. And as we learn more and more about nutrition, I'm sure we're going to find even more amazing connections between specific foods and how they affect our health. It's a really exciting field. There's so much we can do to improve people's lives through nutrition.
Yeah, this deep dive has really opened my eyes to how powerful food can be in preventing disease. We started by talking about how calcium is linked to the risk of bowel cancer. Then we learned about all the amazing benefits of walnuts for cholesterol. And we even got into that whole fascinating world of the gut microbiome and how it affects everything.
And all along the way, we talked about how important it is to get personalized advice from healthcare professionals, right? They can help people figure out how to navigate all the complexities of nutrition and make choices that really work for them and their individual goals.
It's been a really eye-opening conversation, and I hope our listeners have found it helpful too. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about. Given everything we've talked about today, are there any small changes you might want to try making in your own life? Maybe adding a glass of milk to your day, or finding some new ways to enjoy walnuts, or even just being a little more aware of the choices you're making at the grocery store.
Remember, even small changes, if you do them consistently, can really add up over time. It's about making choices that nourish your body and your mind.
That's a great way to put it. This deep dive has shown us just how powerful knowledge can be and how incredible food is. It really can shape our health and well-being.